Oh hi, there's a very good chance I'm going to cry in this video. 2 nights ago, I went and saw this movie called Call Me By Your Name. It is simultaneously this coming of age story as well as a romance, and in my opinion, is the most important piece of queer cinema since probably Brokeback Mountain. At the very least, you will never look at a peach the same way again. Trust me on that. The quick synopsis is that it's about a teenager living in Italy with his family who falls in love with his father's visiting research assistant. It's set in the early 1980s and is about sexuality, Jewish heritage, and of course, the beautiful and gorgeous Italian landscape. I want to explore that sexuality portion. Might as well call me unfocused on the family. But I can't stress enough, this movie is very, very gay. In the best possible of ways. It captures the struggle of coming out to yourself, the feeling of shame that can sometimes come along with that, and of course, gay sex. Now, I'm being a bit flippant with that, but as a bisexual man, I am very empathetic with those types of stories. That being said, I cannot imagine somebody who feels uncomfortable with seeing that type of stuff on screen would ever enjoy watching this movie. But prove me wrong, internet. To the other queers out there, however, I have to say that Timothée Chalamet's performance is wonderful. Not that he's all that much older than the 17-year-old Elio that he's supposed to be portraying, but there's just this naturalness to the way that he acts. He is a teenager, so there's these extreme moments of passion and moodiness, but he also has this sense of the carefree. In moments, there's even a little bit of goofiness. This is not the idealized Hollywood version of what a teenager is supposed to be. Instead, it's a much more dramatically interesting one. Armie Hammer gives his first performance that I've ever truly loved. He's been fine in other films, I've just never been blown away. As Oliver, he has the professionalism that you would expect from a serious research assistant. The knowledge that their budding love is going to be a problem, and the tenderness to make sure that neither side is feeling pressured. But here's a secret, in many ways this is a fulfillment of a fantasy that I had as a teenager. To, live in the Italian countryside while an acclaimed singer-songwriter composed songs to score my life. For a Canadian kid, I would have picked Rufus Wainwright, but I guess the millennials need their Steve Stevenses. That rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? No, it's that the unrequited love that I have would become requited, that the person that I was crushing on would grab me in their arms and sweep me away to a world of happiness. Of course, that was just a fantasy. I never had my Armie Hammer. I had my arm and a hammer. I was very confused about how sex worked as a teenager. So, slight spoilers for the movie coming ahead, but that happiness doesn't even happen in this movie. It feels like it is, but then when it doesn't, you feel that crushing disappointment that Elio exudes but tries desperately to hide. In gay relationships, not so much nowadays, but definitely in the past, you had to honor your relationships in silence. You needed to hide your true self away, fearful of the way that society would react to you, and accepting the fact that your future may not have a happy ending. Which is why I treasure so much the way that Michael Stuhlbarg portrays the father of Elio in this film. He's definitely not the father that you normally see in these types of movies, and he's absolutely not the stereotypical 1980s dad reacting to his son's sexuality. Near the end of the film, he calls his son over to come and sit on the couch, and this is what he tells him. How you live your life is your business. Just remember, our hearts and our bodies are given to us only once. And before you know it, your heart is worn out, and as for your body, there comes a point when no one looks at it, much less wants to come near it. Right now, there's sorrow, pain. Don't kill it, and with it, the joy you felt. This was never gonna have a happy ending. Myself as an audience member definitely wanted there to be, but the realities of the time period as well as the way that the characters were being portrayed, it just wasn't meant to be. One of the underlying themes then is that it's okay to feel sad because then you know that the thing actually mattered. Not exactly groundbreaking, I admit, but I think that the story surrounding that message is. Having a father tell his son that he not only approves of the gay relationship that he knows that he's been having, but also that you should be proud of it, is mind-blowing for a guy who grew up at a time where gay equated as evil. Don't kill it, and with it, the joy you felt. This can be awful for teenagers or adults alike to hear when they're in the middle of devastation. You want to kill the sadness, and that may mean trying to destroy the happiness you once had because it is so closely tied to the sorrow. But to hold on to that joy instead of having the grief overtaking you is a powerful message no matter what your age is, and is something I should probably be better at following myself. Here's another bit of a spoiler. At the very end, Elio is crying, the credits are rolling, and he's just staring off into the distance for a few minutes. At the very end, before it does cut to black, Elio breaks the fourth wall and stares directly at us through the camera before getting up and going and sharing a meal with his family. To me, he's accepted his grief. He's not allowing it to define him, and he's staring at us, the audience, to defy us so that we can stand up and continue living. This movie is not exactly plot heavy. It languishes on beauty, be it the human form or nature. It relishes in the silence of everyday living. Both the writer, James Ivory, and the director, Luca Guadagnino, need to be commended for maintaining that tone for the entire picture. This movie was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, and I polled my audience on Twitter about whether I should do 24 individual videos about each category of the Academy Awards. The no's very clearly won out, but instead what I think I'll do is 5 videos going through all of the different categories. So I'm sure to be talking about this movie more in the upcoming weeks. If you've seen the film, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Did you have the same response? Did you hate it? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll be responding to each and every one. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kyle. I upload videos every Monday and Thursday, although for the next few weeks that might be a little bit off because I've been doing some collaborations and I'm going to do those Oscar videos as well. You can, of course, do the like, comment, and subscribe thing, but also if you want to deeply support me, you can go over onto my Patreon page and for as little as $1 a month, help support me over there. Man, those peaches, they're really sexy, aren't they?